Welcome back, viewers. This is Resistance Radio Music Video Series. I'm your host, Brother Theron. This is the beginning of our various topic series. This time I'm not going to be going over any particular lesson or any scriptures. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself. Just going to give you a little bit of my personal information, just the personal information that I would like you to know about me. My name is Theron Mitchell, and I'm 50 years old. I'm not a believer in astrology, but I do believe that certain things that they say about the signs are in fact true. In my case, certain things that they say about Virgo men is true. I've kind of discovered that about myself over the years. Certain things that Virgo men say and do, or certain things that I say and do. But again, I'm not a believer in astrology, and I don't advise anybody to follow it or pay any attention to it. My height is 6'1". My weight is about 205 pounds, maybe 200 pounds, 205 pounds, somewhere in between there. I do walk and exercise when I can, but I'm having a difficult time putting on weight, so I'm right at about 205 pounds. My shoe size is 13. A little bit about my history. I was raised by both of my parents. My parents were married, and they spent their time together raising me along with two older siblings. I'm the youngest. I was born in Wichita, Kansas, but I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri. My family moved here when I was about 11 years old. I was in the 6th grade, and we've been in Kansas City, Missouri ever since. I'm not going to talk good or bad about the city, but what I will say is that it's a pretty good city to raise family in if you're going to have kids and have family. We started in the inner city, and I saw a lot of different things growing up that I didn't understand. We were in a predominantly black community, but if you drove a few blocks west, it was predominantly a white community. So it was kind of a mixed races, but predominantly black families and black community and black environment. In '85, we moved out to the suburbs, and it was a much different environment. It was quieter, it was more country, but my parents moved around a lot, so we got exposed to a lot of different ethnicities, different cultures, different ideas, different beliefs, and different people. Excuse me. Most of the guys I hung out with were younger than I was, so I was kind of like the big brother out of the crew. So most of them were about 2 or 3 years younger than I was, but those were just the guys I hung out with, and we went a lot of places and did a lot of things together. So in some ways I was the leader, but in other ways I was kind of just like one of the guys. I graduated from high school in 1989. I didn't go to college right away, but I did start working. I actually started working before I graduated, and I, worked at the mall, scooping ice cream at an ice cream store, and then from there I went on to a grocery store, and I've been working up ever since, up until 2018. I think one of the most important and influential times of my life was when rap started to become a big deal. Right around '88, Yo and TV Raps came out on MTV. At the time, MTV used to show actual music videos and actual rap videos, and that was a big deal for me and my brother. And rap definitely shaped my personality, my goals, how I did things, how I dressed, how I talked to people. It also kind of made me more of an artistic person because I already liked music. So when rap came out, I just thought it was really interesting for people to take something and make something from nothing. So it was interesting seeing somebody making a beat or sitting down and writing a complete song in just a matter of minutes. And I mean, I just instantly gravitated to it and just started falling in love with rap right then. So everything that came out from about 86 right up to about 93 or 94, that was my favorite time for music and also my favorite time for rap music. And I believe that's when the best rap music came out, was 86 right up to about 93. Like I said, I didn't go to college right away. By the time I was 19, I became a father. And then again at 21. And so I was a young father, and then not only was I a young father, but very soon after I became a single father because their mother went away and I had to work and take care of 2 little kids. So that was a definite shift in my life and my dreams and my goals and how I did things and the way I did things. So I always wanted a daughter, but I ended up with sons. So being a father of sons is interesting. I think in a way it made me a lot tougher. It made me a lot more grounded. It made me more realistic. Definitely made me more spiritual because I had to spend a lot of time praying to the Lord to help me take care of my sons. I was married a couple of times after having sons. Those marriages did not work out, but in the process of those marriages, I did get stepchildren. I have a total of 6 stepchildren spread out between 3 marriages. I have 6 stepchildren in addition to my children. So basically, I've been a father since I've been 19 years old, and I'm still a father now, and I'm still raising a son, and now I have grandchildren. As far as my religious views, I was raised in a strict traditional Christian home. We went to church regularly, sometimes 2 times a week, sometimes 3 times a week. So I definitely had religion pounded into me from a very young age. And what I will say about the Christian church is much of what they teach is true and right and genuine and biblical and authentic. There's also false doctrines in Christianity along with the true doctrines. There's certain things they do teach that aren't from the Bible, aren't scripture, and basically the doctrines of men. I got my first Bible when I was 8 years old. I got baptized when I was 8 years old. I got my first Bible. I started reading it immediately. And my father, I always loved and honored him because he told me to start at the beginning and just read from Genesis forward. So that's why I've spent so much time in the scriptures. Excuse me. Most of my family were Christians. Most of the people in the neighborhood and the community and the people that came around us were also Christians. Let's see. In 87, when I was 15, my dad started leading a home men's Bible study. Yes, this was 87, so I was 15 years old. And every Thursday, men and men with their families would come to our house and we would have a Bible study. And that's where I learned a lot of what I teach and a lot of what I've experienced and a lot of what I understand about the scriptures was through the Bible study. I met a lot of people, a lot of older men and men that were my age at the time. And a lot of them benefited from my dad's teaching, his mentoring, and his leadership. So in that respect, the Bible study was a good thing, and I'm glad my dad did it. I just, sometimes I wish he had spent more time preparing me personally for relationships, for marriage, for understanding sex, understanding becoming a parent. Those are things I had to learn on my own, and I had to learn on the fly. So I mentioned the Bible study because, again, it was very influential on me. And even now when I do the videos and the lessons, a lot of that is from what I learned watching my father conduct his Bible studies. Marriage is very important to me. I'm definitely a believer in marriage. And when I say marriage, I'm talking about biblical marriage. I'm not talking about American westernized marriage. I'm talking about biblical marriage. I definitely believe a man should be with a woman should be with one man. They should stay together. They should raise their children together and teach their children to become married parents. This is why this is the theme of a lot of the videos that I record and create and produce to get people to understand the importance of marriage because it is a godly concept. Like I've mentioned before, I've been married and divorced several times. And the simple fact of the matter is I just haven't found a righteous woman that's suitable for me. I'm not saying they weren't good women. I'm saying they weren't a righteous woman that was suited for me. Likewise, every other person in the world has someone that's right for them. And if they're not with the person that's right for them, it's ultimately not going to work. And that's been my experience. If the Lord sees fit, he'll send someone that's right for me. I'll be with that person and we'll stay together. This isn't a jab at any particular woman, but it is a jab at unrighteous women. I love and respect good women. I have no love and no respect for women that are no good. It's really that simple. Likewise, when I'm dealing with my friends, I love and respect good men that are good men to me. I have no love and no respect for men that are no good to me. It's that simple. It's not a sexist thing. It's just the truth. So if you want to know about Theron likes the type of woman that's right for him. I'm talking about someone that's old-fashioned, traditional, conservative, a woman that's feminine but not a feminist. Let me briefly explain that. I want a woman that's ladylike, that carries herself like a lady, dresses like a lady, talks like a lady, respects herself like a lady, controls herself like a lady. I don't need a woman that's trying to be me, or that's trying to be a man, or that's trying to be a husband, or that's trying to be a boss, or that's trying to rule over everyone in the house, including the husband. That's not natural, and it's not scripture. I like to do things that are natural and that are scriptural. So it's no disrespect to any good woman. I love and respect good women. I have no love, no respect for women that are no good. I have respect for a feminine woman. I have no respect for feminist women. You know who you are. I like someone that's motherly. I love children. I love anyone's children. I don't care what they're dressed like, what they smell like, what color they are, what they look like. I love all children. I love all unborn children. So I respect a woman that loves children, all children, no matter what they look like, smell like, dress like, talk like, little education, no education, much education, loud kids, quiet kids. I love a woman that loves children. I love a woman that loves the Lord more than she loves me. That would be the perfect woman for me, is someone that loves the Lord more than she loves me. As far as socializing, I love going out on dates. I love sitting down and having drinks with the guys. I love sitting down with people in general and just talking. I'm very old-fashioned. I'm very traditional. I'm very down to earth. It's not a lot of fun to sit up and chat with someone and I don't know what they look like, don't know what their voice sounds like, don't know what they smell like, don't know what their hair feels like. I want to sit down and have an actual date, actual conversation with an actual person. Social media is wonderful. It's done a lot of good things for a lot of good people, and it's necessary. There's a long way you can go with social media. There's a long way you can go with various platforms. But nothing can be a better exchange than to have a regular conversation with a regular person. This is one thing I enjoyed about jobs, was meeting new people, having conversations with new people, getting to know them, letting them get to know me, talking to them, laughing with them, joking with them, playing with them. That's something that's hard to do when you're looking at a screen all day. So I like actual dates, and if I'm hanging out with a guy, I'd actually rather just go to the bar, get some appetizers, get some drinks, sit down and just talk like regular people used to do. As far as work, I work from home. I'm a content creator, and I'm a caregiver for some of my family members. Some of my family members aren't in the best of health, and they need care and love and attention. So I provide care, love, and attention in addition to doing my content, which is my music and my videos and my lessons. I'm drinking Sprite, but my favorite soda is actually Pepsi. We didn't have any more Pepsis in cans, so I settled for a Sprite today. I consider myself a teacher and a student. I say that because I try to teach the scriptures through the Holy Spirit by the Son of God, Yahweh Shai, to the best of my ability. I also try to teach life lessons. I try to teach people to not have to experience what I have experienced, to not hurt the way I've been hurt, to not trip and fall to the extreme that I've tripped and fall. That's the purpose behind the curriculum lessons, and that's the purpose of most of the videos that I shoot. Basically, I'm a teacher, but I'm also a student, because anything people comment on or question on, or topics that they bring up for conversation, that's the opportunity for me to shut my mouth, listen to you, and learn from you. I would love to have some dialogue with other like-minded people and just listen to them, because I'm still a student. I don't pretend to know or understand everything, but I do teach what I do know and what I do understand. So consider Brother Theron a teacher and a student. Let's see. As far as music, I love music. I'm a musician myself. I used to play clarinet. I once played alto saxophone. I played keyboards a little bit, and other than that, it's drum machines and drum programming and music software. I love almost all forms of music, but I'll just be honest with y'all. I do not like country western music. I do not like death metal, that type of metal where it's just a loud drum and they're just screaming in the microphone. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of gangster rap, especially modern gangster rap. I like some of the gangster rap from the late 80s, but what they're doing now, not as much. So yeah, I can't do country western. I can't do death metal. I can't do gangster rap. I can tolerate almost any other kind of music. So those are the types that I like. As far as my musical influences, there's just so many. There's too many for me to list, but I'll mention a few. Prince was definitely a huge influence on me. Dr. Dre, one of the producers named LP. Those three have had a huge influence on me as far as just music influences in general. But I was also influenced by a lot of the music that I listened to as a child. Gospel music artists, the Hawkins, Andre Crouch, the Clark Sisters, James Cleveland, and then other artists. I was influenced by Stevie Wonder and Barry White. They were probably my influences before Prince. So Stevie Wonder and Barry White had a huge influence on me before Prince. Again, as far as music, I love hip-hop music, but mainly the hip-hop music that started in 86 right up till about 93, 94. It started going downhill after about 94. I started making beats in 1995 on the drum machine that I had, and then I got samplers after that, and from samplers I moved to music software. So I've been making beats roughly 25 years. I'd like to think that I've gotten better at it, but I still have work to do. And again, this is why I want to sit down and have dialogues with people, because again, I'm a student. So if I'm learning beats, I need to be a student and learn from other teachers. Likewise, if I'm surrounded by people that want to learn beats, then I consider myself a teacher, and there may be things that I can show them that they didn't know how to do before. So it's something that I love. It was my first love and my first joy, and I certainly still enjoy making the beats now. Basically, the reason and the meaning behind my music is basically I just want to touch other people the way other people have touched me. Music is a form of communication. It's a vibration. It's a frequency. So I want to draw people to me and draw people to my music and see if I can inspire and encourage other musicians and other artists. Let's say you don't do music, but you're a painter. I want to be the type of musician where you could listen to my song and now you want to paint something. Or let's say you're a person that does yard work outside and you keep lawns up and trees and shrubbery and that sort of thing. I would want you to listen to my music and that inspires you to work harder on your trees and your shrubbery and your lawn, basically. The purpose behind what I'm saying is I want the music to attract people and draw them in and make them more creative and make them better at whatever they do, and maybe they'll inspire others. I have several completed projects. The first project that I officially released was called Shalom. It is available on the various music platforms. It's more symphony, more meditation music. It sounds something like a movie score, and I made it that way intentionally because when I stopped working I had a lot of time to self-reflect and dream and imagine and just kind of zone out. So that's how Shalom happened. There's 12 tracks, and those 12 tracks represent the 12 tribes of Israel because we are the Israelites. So that's what Shalom was. I just recently released an EP called Godlike Maneuvers. It's 6 tracks. The theme behind it, again, it's more symphony, ambient, atmospheric music, something that you would travel to, something that you would meditate to, something that you might read or study or relax to. It has a very peaceful vibe to it. And again, I did it because I was going through a time in my life that was very not peaceful, very chaotic and troublesome. So the way I found peace was through the music. Every time I would complete a song, I felt like I was walking a little closer to the Most High, and I felt better with each song as it came along. Godlike Maneuvers only has 6 songs, but to me it's a complete project because when I finished the 6 songs, I just felt like it was done. Again, I consider music more like therapy. I wouldn't have made it through this hardest part of my life these last 5 years without music. If I didn't have my music software and I didn't have my rhyme books and I didn't have that time, I probably would have lost my mind and I wouldn't be sitting here doing this video. So between the Shalom project and the Godlike Maneuvers project, both of those helped me stay grounded and literally kept me from losing my mind. Hip-hop is still important to me. Even though these aren't hip-hop albums, I still write songs. I'm not what you would call a performer. I'm not what you would call an MC. I'm really more of a recording artist and more of a songwriter. But I do write rap songs because what I'm saying is when there's something on my mind or something in my heart, I talk to the paper, and then the paper talks back to me, and it's like I'm having a conversation. And it helps because I see myself through a different set of eyes. I think that's something that's true with almost all people that write rap songs or do raps. They see themselves through a different set of eyes. So that's why I love hip-hop so much. It's taking something that doesn't exist and then making something out of it that exists. Communication's important to me. I talk to my 3 sons on a regular basis, and when we talk, we just talk. I don't judge, I don't criticize, I don't nag. I love my kids, I just love listening to them, and I love talking to them. Communication's important. How can we as humans, as children of the Lord, or some of you that are children of the devil even, how can we get anywhere if we can't sit down and have a simple conversation? So my goal is to get as much music done as possible, get it released as soon as possible, get it to as many ears as possible, and hopefully be able to work with as many artists as possible. I also would like to work with just the common everyday man or woman that just wants to sit down and work on a project. I'm a very down-to-earth, open person. If someone comes to me and they have an idea, I would love to hear the idea. If they have a poem, I would love to hear their poem and make music to it. If they're writing a book and they want a score to their story, I would love to be the guy that makes the score to the story. I'm approachable. I'm not the type of person that's going to judge persons on their appearance or their voice or their hygiene or their wardrobe. I look at people as being people, and I'm gonna give them a chance to be a person first and then work from there. So hopefully the artists, musicians, poets, painters, sculptors, dancers, fashion people that are watching this will get ideas on their own and also share their ideas with me, and maybe we can work on something and get something done. Outside of the music, my biggest ambitions and goals would be to become some type of teacher. I would love some type of facility or environment where I can just sit down with a dry erase board and share all of my knowledge and experience and scriptures and everything that's gone on with me. I would love to just share it and teach it to other people so they can figure out what they need to be doing and where they need to be going based on what they've seen me experience. I don't believe everybody needs to know all of my business, but at the same time, I'm very open and honest, probably a little more so than the average person. I don't mind telling people my experiences, especially where marriage and relationships is concerned, because I do have some experience there. But even in other areas, I would just love to have an environment, a facility, an auditorium, whatever you want to call it, where I can just teach lessons, especially to the men, younger men, older men, experienced men, inexperienced men. I would love to have a men's class, and I just share with them everything that's going on with me, everything that I understand about what's going on with me, and point out things that they need to avoid, things they need to do, and things that they don't need to do. I'm not a racist. In order to be racist, you have to be in power. That's what people don't understand about racism. Just because someone makes a racist statement, that doesn't make them a racist. Just because someone makes a bigoted or prejudiced statement, that doesn't make them a bigot or make them prejudiced. To be a racist, you have to be in power, in a position where you can subjugate other races. So I'm not a racist. I am a nationalist. Brother Theron, what's a nationalist? A nationalist is simply someone that is for their own people and their own race. I'm definitely for my own people and my own race. The best example I could give you is, let's say my son's school was on fire and it was burning down. When I go to that school, I'm going to rescue my son. I'm not going to rescue your son. I'm not going to rescue your daughter. I'm going to rescue my son because he's mine. I love my people. Now, if I'm able to save your son, I will. If I'm able to save your daughter, I will. But I'm going there and I'm going into that fire to save my son. There's nothing wrong with you being for your own people. I want everyone that's watching this and listening to stop believing everything the American media teaches you. This goes for the movies, television, magazines, books, video games, music, posts, memes, news stories. Stop believing what everyone tells you about yourself. If you want to know about yourself, go to the history books and read about your people. Go to the scriptures and read about your people. The racist is the one that wants you to not care about your own people and care about their people. But in order to do that, you have to be in a position of power, in a position of authority. In order to be in a position of power and in a position of authority, you need this. So I'm not saying that my people can't make racist statements. They do. I can't say that my people don't have racist attitudes. They can, but they can't actually be racist. They can be nationalists. Racists are the ones that control the banks and the churches and the school system and the court system and the law enforcement system and the media. Those are your racists. So Brother Theron is not a racist. If I meet you, I don't care if you're green with yellow stripes. I'm going to give you a chance as a person first. Then I'll judge you by your spirit whether or not you're a good person or not. I'm not a sexist. I don't care what parts you have or what parts you're having changed or what parts you're missing. None of that matters to me. Who are you? That's what matters to me. How are you going to treat me and my children? That's what matters to me. I'm not going to judge any woman how she treats me and how she treats my children and how she treats my family. That's how I'm going to judge her. So I'm not a sexist. So when I say I don't like a certain type of woman, that just means I don't like a certain type of woman. That doesn't mean I don't like women. I came from a woman and a man. I grew up around women. My children came out of a woman. So you're getting what I'm saying? I guess I have to explain this to some people. I'm not a sexist. I am a nationalist. Nationalists believe in taking care of their own, and you should. If you're Cuban, you should take care of other Cubans. If you're Brazilian, you should take care of Brazilians. If you're German, you should take care of your Germans. So I have to say that because we live in a sensitive society that's offended by every little thing they read, every little thing that's posted, every little thing that's reported, every little thing that they hear. So I have to make it clear. I'm not a racist, I'm not a sexist, but I am a nationalist, and I am a family man. So that pretty much sums it up. Again, this is part of the various topics series. We'll be discussing other topics as time goes on. I just wanted people to know a little bit more about Theron Mitchell. As always, you're welcome to like, you're welcome to comment, you're welcome to subscribe. You're welcome to contact me through Facebook Messenger. You're free to direct message me if you choose. This is just basically an introduction. People can get to know me, know a little bit about me without me divulging too much personal information. Hopefully in the next video we'll talk some more about different topics, or maybe you can comment or suggest a topic and we can go over it and do another video on it. I appreciate all viewers. I appreciate all subscribers. I appreciate everyone that's paying attention, everyone that's supporting me, everyone that's gone on to listen to the music. I appreciate you. And hopefully you'll be blessed, and we'll catch you next time.